Ryan had been on the Joint Galactic Research ship for 2 weeks. He was still getting used to the way aliens did things. Nothing on the ship felt normal to him, not the food, not the beds, and especially not his new roommate, Zoleri. She was tall and slim, with light blue skin that shimmered under the ceiling lights. Her large green eyes always looked curious, and her hair flowed like soft silver threads. Their rooms were simple: 2 beds, a shared desk, and 1 private shower pod. It was better than he expected. Most human officers had to use public washing halls. Ryan liked privacy. He liked to take his time, clean off the dirt, and enjoy warm water on his skin. On the 3rd evening after a dusty mission on a desert moon, Ryan returned to his quarters. His boots were full of sand, his hair was sticking to his forehead, and his shirt felt like paper. Zoleri was sitting at the desk, reading something from her holopad. "Tough day?" she asked without looking up. "Very," Ryan replied, heading straight for the shower pod. The pod door was half transparent, made from a special kind of fog glass. It kept things private, but not hidden. He didn't think much of it. He was used to it now. He started the water, adjusted the temperature, and sighed as the first stream hit his back. The feeling of warmth washing away the grime was one of the few things that felt like home. He grabbed his shampoo bottle, squeezed some into his palm, and began scrubbing his hair. Next came the washcloth. He rubbed his arms, chest, and back, slowly, humming a soft tune. He was so focused that he didn't hear the soft giggle behind him. "You humans, you're so dramatic when you clean yourselves." Ryan jumped and slipped a little. Turning quickly, Zoleri. She was standing right outside the pod, laughing with her hand over her mouth. Her eyes sparkled with amusement. "What are you doing?" "Rubbing yourself like you're trying to erase your skin." Ryan's face turned red. "I'm showering. This is a human shower." Zoleri tilted her head. "Why do you use that foamy stuff and that cloth? Is it a ritual?" Ryan turned the water off, wrapped a towel around himself, and stepped out, clearly flustered. "We don't watch each other shower." "Oh," Zoleri said innocently. "I was curious." "You left the door partly open." He glared. "That doesn't mean come in and watch." She laughed again. Sorry. I didn't mean to upset you. I just never saw a human wash before. It looked funny." Ryan shook his head, trying to calm down. "I wouldn't laugh at the way you clean yourself." "That's because you've never seen how we do it," she replied with a smirk. "Good," he muttered. "Let's keep it that way." But deep down, Ryan wasn't angry. Maybe a little embarrassed, sure. But Zoleri wasn't being mean, just playful. It was hard to stay mad at someone who looked that curious and happy. That night, Ryan lay in his bed, staring at the ceiling. Zoleri's soft humming came from the other side of the room. He wondered what it was like, growing up in a world where people shared everything, even showers. She wasn't trying to be rude. To her, this was normal. He turned to the side and pulled the blanket up. "Note to self," he whispered, "lock the shower door next time." In the morning, the air between them was quiet. Zoleri didn't make jokes. She didn't laugh. Ryan guessed she felt bad. As he sat to tie his boots, she walked over holding a small container. "What's that?" he asked. "Alien soap," she said. "It's safe for humans too. It won't sting your eyes, and it smells like stars." Ryan raised an eyebrow. "Stars don't have a smell," she smiled. "Ours do." He took the container gently. "Thanks. No more watching?" he asked. "Promise," she replied with a grin. As they walked to their morning briefing together, something had shifted. The awkward moment had turned into a strange kind of understanding. They were from different worlds, different habits, different rules. But maybe, just maybe, they could learn from each other. The next few days were normal. Ryan and Zoleri worked on their research tasks and helped with ship maintenance. They laughed sometimes, shared meals, and even argued over who made better tea, humans or her people. Ryan thought things were back to normal. But Zoleri hadn't forgotten the shower incident. She was still curious. One evening, after a long shift, repairing broken drones in the storage bay, Ryan returned to their room completely covered in black grease. His arms were sticky, his face was smudged, and his shirt had patches of dirt. He sighed and dropped his tools, mumbling, I need a shower before this stuff becomes part of me. He walked into the pod, not thinking too much. He turned the warm water on, leaned under the stream, and let it wash away the grime. As he reached for the shampoo, he heard footsteps. He froze. Don't you dare, he said without turning. Too late, Zaleri said, stepping into the pod area, holding a bottle with glowing blue liquid and something that looked like soft petals in her other hand. Ryan spun around, still soaking wet. Zaleri, what are you doing? You're always doing it the boring way. I brought our soap and cleansing petals. They work better and faster. I don't need help, especially not while I'm standing here like this. She didn't seem bothered. Your method takes 20 minutes. Ours takes 5. I'll show you. She poured a drop of the glowing soap into her hand and reached toward him. Nope, nope, nope. Ryan stepped back, bumping into the wall. This is not happening. She looked confused. I'm not trying to hurt you. This is normal to us. To us, it's not, Ryan replied, holding his towel like a shield. This is private, Zaleri blinked, then slowly lowered her hands. Oh, she said quietly, I thought you were more comfortable now. Seeing her disappointed face, Ryan sighed. I'm not mad, just surprised. You don't understand how humans feel about this. I want to understand, she whispered. I want to know why you clean with cloths and foam, why you sing while you wash, and why you look so peaceful afterward. He smiled awkwardly. Singing just helps me relax, and the foam makes me feel clean. Maybe that's silly to you. Not silly, she said, just different. They stood there, water still running. Ryan finally nodded. Okay, how about a deal? Her ears twitched. What kind of deal? Next time, we try your way, but with clothes on, he said, with a smirk. Teach me your cleansing petals and your magic soap, but let's keep it respectful. She smiled, her eyes glowing slightly. Deal. That night, Ryan looked at the glowing soap bottle on the counter. He picked it up and sniffed it. It smelled like wildflowers and something else he couldn't explain. Something calming. Maybe she was right, it was different. Not bad. The next day after the shift, Zaleri was already waiting near the pod. She had laid out the clean robes and a fresh towel. Are you ready? She asked, grinning. As ready as I'll ever be, Ryan replied. They stepped into the pod fully dressed, in thin robes, and this time, Ryan was the curious one. Zaleri showed him how to apply the blue liquid to the petals. When rubbed gently over the skin, they made a soft humming sound and left a faint glow. See, she said, rubbing the petal across his arm, cleans without foam. He copied her motion, using a petal on her hand carefully. The glow reacted to his touch. This feels kind of nice. Told you? They continued like that, side by side. Not laughing or teasing, just learning. When the pod door opened and the steam cleared, they stood clean and quiet, smiling. Your turn next time, she said, with foam and singing. Ryan asked, yes? I'll even try the washcloth. They both laughed. From that day forward, the word shower didn't mean just cleaning anymore. For them, it became a way to share their cultures, their jokes, and their trust. After that strange but fun shared shower, Ryan and Zaleri started to grow closer. Their friendship became something the rest of the crew noticed. They laughed during meals, walked together to the labs, and often stayed up late talking in their quarters. Ryan learned about Zaleri's homeworld, a planet full of wide rivers, glowing trees, and sky creatures that sang during the rain. In return, Zaleri asked hundreds of questions about Earth. She was amazed by the idea of snow, pizza, and swimming pools. Once, she even asked if people on Earth really had pets that barked at the mail. Yes, Ryan chuckled, and they bark at everything else too. But the thing they bonded over the most was their cleaning routines, strange as it seemed. It gave them something to laugh about every day. One afternoon, the ship landed on a muddy planet called Orvis 3 to collect samples. It had been raining there for weeks. The ground was soft, the air was thick, and the mud stuck to everything. When the team returned to the ship, they were covered head to toe in thick brown slime. I think some of this mud is alive, Ryan muttered, pulling a small worm off his boot. Xela, I giggled, flicking a leaf from her shoulder. We're going to need the strongest soap for this. Back in their quarters, Ryan was already reaching for the foam and washcloth, but when he entered the pod, Scifi appeared with a serious look. Ryan, wait. He turned. What now? This time, she said, holding up a bright pink container. We try my home cleansing method. The full one. Didn't we already do your way? Not the full way, she replied with a raised brow. You only saw half of it. There's a step we skipped. Ryan stared at her. Please don't say it involves fish. No fish. She promised. Just steam and scent stones. She brought out a handful of smooth stones that glowed faintly. She placed them at the corners of the pod. These release calming scents and warm vapor. They help loosen the dirt and relax the body. The stones began to glow stronger, and the air filled with a sweet, clean scent like flowers and rain mixed together. Steam rose gently, surrounding them in a soft fog. Ryan took a deep breath. This is actually nice. Scifi handed him a cloth soaked with warm liquid. Rub this on your arms and chest. It will absorb the grime. Ryan followed her instructions. The cloth left no bubbles but seemed to pull the dirt straight from his skin. This is amazing, he said, surprised. How does it work? Our scientists made it using crystals from our rivers. They draw out bad elements. They stood in silence, gently wiping and relaxing in the mist. Ryan looked at her, noticing how calm she seemed. Her eyes were half closed, and she was smiling. You really enjoy this, don't you? He asked. Very much, she replied softly. On my planet, families clean together. It's a sign of trust and love. Ryan looked down, thinking, humans usually clean alone. We only share that with someone very close. I know, she said, but that's why I'm thankful. You let me be part of something private. He nodded, understanding the weight of her words. After the shower, they both sat on their beds in clean clothes, sipping warm drinks. Scifi was quiet, then finally spoke. Do other humans think it's strange, the way we clean together? Ryan smiled. Some might, but not me. You're different, she whispered. So are you, he replied. Just then, a message pinged on the wall screen. It was a call for both of them to attend a team meeting the next day for a new mission. Ryan groaned. More mud. Hopefully less, she said with a laugh. They turned off the lights, and silence filled the room. But this time, it wasn't awkward or cold. It felt calm, peaceful like the steam in the shower pod. Before sleep took them, Scifi whispered. Next time, I want to try your foam again. Ryan chuckled in the dark. And I'll prepare extra bubbles. The next mission took them deep, into the frozen hills of a moon called Noralis. The cold was so sharp it could bite through boots. Ryan and Scifi were part of the recovery team sent to collect ice samples. They wore thick suits and moved slowly through the snow. The wind howled like a living thing. By the time they returned to the ship, Ryan's fingers were numb, and Scifi's skin had turned a soft purple from the chill. They hurried back to their quarters, leaving a trail of melting snow behind them. I can't feel my toes, Ryan said as he kicked off his boots. I can't feel my nose, Scifi replied, rubbing her face gently. We need heat, fast. Ryan rushed to the shower pod. This is a job for foam, steam, and singing. Scifi laughed. Only if I get to choose the song. Deal. This time. They both wore light robes and entered the pod together, something that had become normal between them now. Ryan poured a generous amount of human shampoo into his hands and lathered it up until the foam reached his elbows. Your turn, he said, passing her the bottle. Scifi carefully squeezed the bottle, then looked puzzled. It feels like clouds, and it smells like lemon, Ryan added proudly. They took turns helping each other. She scrubbed his back gently with a washcloth, and he used the soft petals from her planet to clean her arms. The mix of human bubbles and alien glow filled the pod, with both scent and light, Scifi said while scrubbing her hair. I used to think humans were strange. Only used to. Ryan teased. She smiled. Now I think you're only a little strange. I'll take that as progress. Suddenly, the pod's light dimmed, and the floor vibrated slightly. "What was that?" Ryan asked. A voice came through the ship's speakers. "Attention crew. Small asteroid impact on the lower deck. All systems stable. No injuries reported." Ryan and Zeleri looked at each other. "Always something," she said. He nodded. "At least it didn't interrupt our shower." After finishing, they stepped out into the room, warm and clean. Ryan dried his hair with a towel while Zeleri sat near the heating vent, letting the warm air hit her face. "Do you think we're weird?" she asked suddenly. "Us," Ryan replied. "Yes, a human and an alien sharing showers. Learning each other's ways. It's not common." Ryan thought for a moment. "Maybe we are weird. But I like it. I've never felt this comfortable around anyone before." She looked at him with soft eyes. "Me too." That night, they sat side by side, watching a human comedy show on Ryan's tablet. Zeleri laughed loudly. Even if she didn't always understand the jokes, Ryan enjoyed her laughter more than the show itself. As the episode ended, Zeleri asked, "Do humans ever share showers with people they like?" Ryan felt his heart skip. "Sometimes, if they trust them, and if they care about them, yes," he said quietly. She smiled and leaned her head on his shoulder. "Then I'm glad we do." There were no more words after that, just quiet, understanding, and somewhere in the room, the faint scent of lemon foam still hung in the air. News travels fast on a ship. After a few weeks of missions, laughter, and shared showers, the other crew members began to notice something between Ryan and Zeleri. They were always together. They finished each other's sentences. They even walked in sync. Some found it sweet, others found it strange. In the dining hall, two officers whispered to each other, glancing at Ryan and Zeleri as they shared a meal, and laughed at an old Earth joke. "They're getting too close," one said. "He's human. She's not. It might become a problem." Others didn't say anything, but the looks were enough. Ryan noticed first. He felt the stares. People didn't laugh as much when he joked during group meetings. And during one briefing, the team leader barely acknowledged his report. Later that day, an older officer pulled him aside. "A word of advice," the officer said. "It's fine to be friendly with aliens, but don't forget your place, close. Friendships can confuse both sides." Ryan frowned. "We work well together. That's all." "That's not how it looks anymore," the officer replied, then walked away. Those words stayed in Ryan's head all night. Back in their quarters, Zeleri noticed his silence. He didn't laugh, didn't talk about his day, just sat on his bed, staring at nothing. "Did something happen?" she asked gently. Ryan took a deep breath. "People are talking. They think we're too close." Zeleri tilted her head. "We are close, I know, but not everyone understands. Some think it's wrong." She looked down, quiet. "Do you think it's wrong?" "No," he said quickly. "Never. I just don't want you to get in trouble because of me, and I don't want you to hide your smile because of them," she replied. They didn't speak much that night. The warmth between them was still there, but a cold breeze had crept in from outside. The next morning, during a survey mission on a small asteroid, disaster struck. Part of the team was mapping crystal patterns deep in a narrow cave. Zeleri, curious and brave as always, went further than the others. Then came the quake. The walls shook, and the ceiling cracked. "Zeleri!" Ryan shouted as the tunnel collapsed. Rocks blocked the path. Dust filled the air. A few crew members tried to clear the way, but it was too narrow for most of them. "Only one person can fit," the team leader said. "Someone small, fast, and trained in rescue." Ryan stepped forward. "I'll go." "Are you sure?" another officer asked. "I'm sure." He grabbed a small light, tied a cable around his waist, and crawled into the tight opening. The air was thick. Each move was slow, every breath careful. The further he went, the quieter everything became. Finally, after what felt like forever, he saw her. Zeleri was trapped under a slab of rock, barely awake. "Ryan," she whispered. "I'm here," he said, gently lifting the stone from her leg. "I've got you." He checked her pulse, gave her water, and used the cable to signal for help. Minutes later, they were both pulled out, Safe. Back on the ship, Zeleri rested in the medbay. Ryan sat by her side, holding her hand. You came for me, she said weakly. Always, he replied. When the captain came to check on them, he looked at Ryan differently, not with suspicion, but with respect. You saved her life, the captain said. She would have done the same for me, Ryan answered. The whispers didn't stop after that, but the tone changed. Some still didn't understand, but they couldn't deny what they saw: trust, care, and something real. That night, back in their room, Zeleri looked at Ryan with tired eyes. Promise me one thing. Anything, he said. Never stop being yourself, even if others don't understand. Only if you promise the same, he replied. They smiled, and even though the room was quiet, it felt full of warmth again. The days after the rescue were calm but full of small moments that build their friendship stronger. Ryan and Zeleri shared more than just work. They shared stories, food, and sometimes silence that felt comfortable. Their bond was growing quietly but surely. One evening, as the ship drifted near a bright star, Zeleri invited Ryan to her room. I want to show you something, she said with a shy smile. He followed her inside. The room was decorated with soft glowing stones and pictures of her home planet. On a small table, she had set up her cleansing petals and a bowl of warm water. This is the full cleansing ritual, she explained. It is important in my culture. It is how we heal and prepare for new days. Ryan watched carefully as she dipped the petals in the water, then lifted them, letting the drops fall slowly. The petals glowed softly in her hand. Would you like to try? She asked. He nodded, feeling honored. She gently placed a petal on his palm. As he rubbed it on his skin, he felt a warm tingling. It was soothing, different from anything he had felt before. It feels peaceful, he said. Yes, she smiled. And it cleans more than dirt. He looked up, curious. It cleans worries, anger, and sadness too. She explained. Ryan thought about the officers who had warned him, the rumors, and the quiet stares. Do you think this ritual could help with that? Zeleri nodded slowly. Maybe. Cleansing is about opening your heart, letting go of fear. They spent the evening going through the ritual together, side by side, sharing stories of fears and hopes. Ryan told her about Earth's oceans and forests. She told him about the rivers and songs of her planet. Afterward, Ryan felt lighter, as if the heavy thoughts had melted away with the water. The next day, they were called to a council meeting. Representatives from many species gathered to discuss a new threat: a fleet of unknown ships moving toward the galaxy's edge. Tension filled the room. Ryan and Zeleri listened carefully as leaders argued about whether to prepare for war or try peace talks. This is serious, Ryan said after the meeting. It could change everything. Zeleri nodded. But we will face it together, as friends. The ship went into high alert. Ryan and Zeleri worked late into the night, repairing shields and running scans. Tired but determined, they found strength in each other's presence. One night, while cleaning up, Ryan asked quietly, Do you ever feel afraid? Zeleri looked at him, surprised. Yes. Fear is part of life, but cleansing helps. What about when cleansing is not enough? She smiled softly. Then we hold on to those we trust and face the fear together. He reached out, gently touching her hand. Then I'm glad I have you. She squeezed his hand. And I have you. Weeks passed, and the threat drew closer. The crew trained harder, and Ryan and Zeleri's bond became a quiet light in the dark. Then came the day the fleet arrived. Huge ships filled the skies like giant shadows. Alarms blared. The crew prepared for battle. Ryan and Zeleri stood together on the command deck, watching the enemy approach. Ready? He asked. Always, she replied. As the battle began, they worked as one. His knowledge of human tactics, her skills with alien technology, a perfect team. Through chaos and danger, their friendship stayed strong, reminding them why they fought not just for victory, but for hope, trust, and new beginnings. The battle was fierce. Huge ships clashed in the stars, lasers cutting through space like lightning. Inside their ship, Ryan and Zeleri worked side by side, each trusting the other to watch their back. Shields at 50%, the captain warned. I'm rerouting. Power, Ryan said, fingers flying over the control panel. XELARI monitored the enemy's movements. Her sharp eyes spotting weak points. Target their engines, she suggested. They won't last long if we cut their speed. Ryan smiled. Good plan. Together, they coordinated strikes. Their teamwork surprised the crew, human strategy and alien tech blending perfectly. During a brief pause in the fight, Ryan turned to Zeleri. Remember when you laughed at my shower routine? She laughed softly. How could I forget? Now, look at us fighting together, trusting each other. I'm glad I stepped in to help. He reached for her hand. You saved me more than once today. And you saved me, she said quietly. The battle raged on, but their bond was unbreakable. Finally, the enemy ships began to retreat. Cheers filled the command deck. We did it, Ryan said, breathless. XELARI smiled, leaning close. Together, after the battle, the crew gathered to celebrate. Ryan and Zeleri stood side by side, their friendship now known and accepted. Your teamwork was impressive, the captain said, shaking Ryan's hand, and your trust, Zeleri, helped us all. Ryan looked at Zeleri and saw the warmth in her eyes. That night, back in their quarters, they prepared for their favorite ritual, one shower, to ways. Zeleri adjusted the pod settings. Steam rising gently, Ryan smiled as he picked up the shampoo bottle. Your turn first, he said. XELARI laughed, squeezing the glowing soap onto the soft petals. Ready? She asked. Always? They began, each showing the other their favorite parts: the foam bubbles, the glowing petals, the warm steam. They laughed as water splashed and shared quiet moments of peace. As the shower ended, Ryan wrapped a towel around both of them, a simple gesture that spoke volumes. Thank you, he whispered. For what? She asked. For helping me see that differences can bring us closer. Zeleri smiled. And for letting me share your world. Together, they stepped out, ready to face whatever came next. In the vast galaxy, two souls had found friendship, trust, and maybe something more. All starting with a simple shower and a laugh.